All right, since we're here, there's something that I've actually run into at my own house here in Richmond, Virginia. We had some equipment put in back in 2004, actually 2014, sorry. So that was back when there was a big push to get away from lead in fittings for obvious reasons. Lead is a poison, and it's one of those things that you don't want lead in your water. So the brass that was created as a remedy to be able to have plumbing fittings that don't have lead during that period of time are very prone to dezincification, which is basically a process that can happen on aggressive water, whether that's aggressive from low pH. It can be a city water situation where you've got chlorine in the water, and it can be pretty catastrophic. This house was actually 2014, didn't even have systems in for too terribly long, fittings in before we got the equipment in there. But the fittings are so brittle that I've already had to replace several around the house, literally because they first start to get a little bit of a leak around them, and then when you're trying to fasten in new ones, new tubing, they will literally snap in half. So dezincification is when the water pulls the zinc out of the actual brass fittings. It's one of the alloys that they used. So if you could imagine, it's like literally sucking it from the inside and making it disappear, and you have spongy fittings, for lack of a better term, they become extremely brittle, and they can be snapped simply with two hands. So it's one of those things around 2014, plus or minus, 5 years, so anywhere from 2010 to maybe 2020. Just be aware if you see some fittings leaking around your house, typically PEX, but because that's the most common plumbing that uses metallic fittings. But something like this was installed back at that time. So I've got a close eye on this to see if this thing is going to start leaking. But I've seen T fittings, elbow fittings, valves, all of them have been just eaten alive from dezincification, and that's even with equipment in place. So wanted to throw that out there. Thanks.